mines, to old mills, to old lighthouses, to all this, that and the other, that are of huge fascination to tourists and make up for all the lack of sun we don't have. And I'd just be interested whether you see that as another potential source of tourism and all the other things that you can do around flying.
Thank you, Deputy. Back to you now, Mr. Pender. Just to say that you probably gather from that the 4 areas that we actually outlined at the start of our piece of work on this was basically because of the limited nature of the potential for rural coastal communities and islands to develop, sustainable economies for themselves. That in your own presentation, you mentioned specifically sea angling quite extensively, and tourism has formed a greater part of the emphasis from our own people back, I'd say, compared to anything else. One pointed question was from Deputy McNamara about the aquaculture impact on tourism. So I suppose what we're trying to develop here is some sort of a template that would allow coastal and island communities to develop. And what is the proper mix? Is there factors and initiatives that could be taken outside of tourism that might compromise tourism? And is there I think going back to what Deputy O'Quiv has just referenced about structural alterations, is there a better structural system that could be put in place to actually specifically deal with these communities? I mean, going through your own menu of initiatives, there's a huge range of them out there. Your 159 destinations on that Wild Atlantic Way should in theory touch on a lot of the communities to which we are trying to address. So I think that's just to give you a little bit of background as from where I'm sitting. Somebody who's in the uplands in the east, and the walkways that are referenced are the ones along the coast. I suppose as everybody else is parochial, we have a good cliff walk from Bray to Greystones as well, which is probably has enough users at the moment anyway, and the communities are not in the same situation. So that's just my observations on the contributions today from yourself and the members. So I'd welcome if you want to make a response, or any of your colleagues want to respond to any of the points and questions specifically raised.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, what I propose to do, if this sounds reasonable, is I was going to maybe just respond to a few general points which might allow me to provide some context on our own thinking, so that if the members again wish to come back on that, I'm attempting to communicate where we're coming from in our thinking process, so that if you wanted to influence that or contribute to that, we'd welcome very much your thoughts. But Chairman, there are a number of, as you say, some very pointed and specific questions, and my 3 colleagues on my left I think are better positioned in many respects to take some of those. So what I was proposing to do is I'll take some of the more general issues of principle and offer some comments on that, and then I'll ask each of my colleagues in turn. They will know which ones I think they're going to take, and